All right. Hello, everybody. It is September 8th, and we are going to do the very first week of the eBay refresher course. So I'm going to try to do this like a eBay boot camp type of thing yearly because things change. We need reminders. I'm going to record this first part of each day. So we'll have it weekly for you can attend one or none or all or whatever trips your trigger. And then I will compile a library at the end. Then it'll have like the set like here this one covers shipping policies and business policies, this one's payment policies, or this one's how to create a good listing or whatnot. So we're trying to build a library for people to reference both on YouTube and in our group. In our group, it'll be available as a library on Patreon, and of course it'll be free and you can reference it whenever you need it. So the very first thing we're going to do, I wanted to do, I guess these are kind of the boring hard things right off. So I will share my screen and I will show you how we do our business and payment policies. So pretty boring, but very necessary. So unfortunately. So we will go to our seller hub anywhere on eBay. You can go to your seller hub. And as you guys know from if you watch anything I do, or if you're in the group, that I don't pretty transparent about everything. So I don't mind sharing my actual eBay here. So go to your seller hub by going to the upper right-hand corner where it says sell. Go into the left-hand side here, and we will just start at selling preferences because it's things we need to know. So here it is, our selling preferences. So this very first one here is automate feedback. Pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. You can choose how you want to do this. This is how I do mine. Doesn't mean that's how you have to do yours. So I automatically leave positive feedback after they've paid for the item and left me positive feedback. So I kind of do a you left me positive, I leave you positive, everybody's happy. You can do it as soon as they pay for the item because really that moment they have fulfilled their obligation. They have paid for the item. It's all good. So whatever you choose to do, it's fine. Then you can hit edit stored comments. And this is what they are going to, you can rotate these with different things that you want it to say. So otherwise it will just, I think it will automate for you if you don't. So you can type in what you want it to say for your feedback. So I do automated feedback because I don't have time to go and leave everybody feedback. So that one's easy, no big stressful thing there. And again, we're still under selling preferences at the left-hand side. Return preferences. This gets a little bit more controversial, a little bit more in depth, I guess. So return request preferences. So go to manage. And this is on the eBay auto refund. I choose not to do any auto refund with eBay because I don't do any auto anything with eBay. So I feel like I want to see it first. And usually I do refunds. I don't have a problem with refunds and returns at all, but I choose not to do this automatically. You can do whatever you want to with it, no problem. So now we're going to go back one. This is the RMA number. This is where it gives you the return merchandise authorization for each return label. If you would like the RMA number, you can absolutely do that. It's a step that I'm not going to follow or track anyway. So I choose not to do that. So this return preferences tab to me is a little bit confusing because it really doesn't have a whole lot to do with our return policies. It's just our preferences. So this doesn't have anything to do with our free returns, nothing. This is how we want to get our returns. So it's a little confusing, I think. So go back a step and now we are going to see our go back up a little bit. Sales tax table, I don't mess with it. So if you're into that, go for it. I don't mess with it. Preferences for items awaiting payment. This is kind of important. So let's go to edit on that. This is where if you want to do the automatically cancel for unpaid items. This is totally up to you whether you want to do that or not. I do not because I have people that will build a cart all month and then pay when they get their pension or Social Security or their whatever. So I like them to be able to build the cart. I do ask them to communicate with me if they're going to do that, so I know. But if you wanted to automatically cancel unpaid items, you turn this on and then you scroll down and it's how long they have to pay for their items. So you can, I think, I don't know what, I don't do it. I don't turn mine on, but this 30-day thing, this allows them to make combined payments for 30 days. So that allows them to build the cart or build that order. If you want to have it cancel after like the 4 days, that's under shipping preferences. If you wanted to do sooner. So automatically relist canceled items, I would tell you to put no on this, because what if you cancel it because you don't have it? If you cancel it because you don't have it, we don't want that turned on. You'll end up with things relisted that you don't have. So again, this is one that you would think has all that extra stuff in it. It really doesn't. So this is your selling preferences. Remember, not our policies. So the other thing here is if you want to have listings stay active when you're out of stock, you can turn this on. I don't, because I don't really want a listing to stay active with a quantity of 0. I think it's confusing to customers. Buyers can see how many items are left. I don't do multi-quantity listings, so this really doesn't apply to me. But let's say you had 10 pairs of shoes and somebody could order 9 pairs of those, and you want them to know that there's only 10 pairs left. So this, they would be able to see how many in that listing of that item you have. So that would be for multi-quantity orders. Your buyers, who can buy from you? So let's edit that. Let's see what's under there. So I have automatic block settings on block buyers whose primary shipping address is in a location to which I don't ship. So all this does is that people won't see my listings if I don't ship to where they live. And I think that's a really good one to have on, because then you get questions saying, hey, I tried to check out, I want your item, but I can't because it says I can't check out because of my address, right? So this one I think is just a good one to turn on. This one here, you can hit block buyers who caused X amount of cancellations of unpaid orders within the last, and then you can choose how many months. I don't think it's bad if you turn this on, but sometimes people have extenuating circumstances and it can make this number go up. And then, I don't know. I just don't want to automatically block them. Same way here is if they like don't pay for certain items, you can update block settings for active listings. I just really don't want, I don't know. I'm not block happy. Here I do have don't allow blocked buyers to contact me. If I block them, do I really want to hear from them? Probably not, right? So right here under buyer rules is where people have to put their credit card information in. So I don't choose this, but you may require buyers to provide a payment method before they place a bid. This isn't a bad one to turn on. It just makes them put their credit card or debit card information in before they're allowed to bid on your auctions. Not a bad thing, right? Require all buyers to provide a payment method before they make an offer. I don't want this on because I find it really annoying. I find it annoying when it's on. So I have it off, but basically it will just make them have their card information into eBay before they're allowed to make an offer, but it's not bad if you do. Manage block buyer list. I'm not going to bring this up because then you guys will, I don't want to see your name on there and I blocked you and now you're mad, right? So, I'm kidding, probably, I hope. So I really feel like this system is pretty archaic the way that eBay has it. However, you have to put in the person's username into this blocked buyer list if you want them to be blocked. I block people for things like, they leave a really nasty negative feedback that was not warranted. That's an instant block for me. If you give me lots of problems with your order and it wasn't my fault and all that, like, I just don't have that time for those headaches. It doesn't matter however you choose to handle this, but you do have to go here to manage the list. You enter in their username, separated by commas, and that's where you put your block buyer list. So know where that's at, because I imagine we'll all use the blocked buyer list. Monthly invoice. How many of you guys, do you use your monthly invoice? I think a lot of people don't look at it. I do. I like my statement and I do keep a file folder in my computer of them. You don't have to, because you can pull them anytime from eBay. But here I like to receive the email with a detailed invoice. And I also like to apply any credits, to my amount due at the end of the cycle. So you don't have to if you don't want to, but I do like to have that invoice, and eBay then emails me that invoice. If I have one, which usually I don't, but if I do, I get it that way. So, cause they usually come out of my payouts, and so there's no invoice. That used to be, you had to pay invoices monthly to eBay for charges, but it's kind of done away with that now, but at least you know where it's at, right? All right, so selling preferences. I think we have them all taken care of. Yes. So now we can go to any of these. So let's go to manage communications with buyers. This is important to have this set out, right? So this allows the buyer this sends an automatic email to let them know that they need to pay after an auction. So that's like an auto setting. It's just letting them know that the buyer gets that saying, hey, you won this auction. The buyer checks out, the order confirmation email gives them a thank you, lets them know where to go to pay for your item. Great, eBay, please do that. So these are all automatic things that eBay will do for you. If your buyer hasn't left feedback after a month, it will send them a reminder. I would really actually like to turn that off. I don't really want them to do that. If your buyer hasn't paid after a couple days, it'll send them a reminder. That's fine, and I let them do that, but I also send my own invoices, so it doesn't really bother me. Here, if you don't have this turned on, buyers cannot send you messages. So I highly recommend, if you do not have this turned on, to turn it on. And it also include a message at checkout when they pay. And so I want all of this. So if I go to edit, if you do not have it turned on, you want it turned on, you can go and edit, and it will tell you, you can do like set information. Like here's, if I want to tell them how to do combined shipping, I can edit this and they'll be able to see a fact in question set, and it'll just show them my policies for things. So I am perfectly fine with them sending me a message while they're shopping to make sure. I would definitely have this box checked because I want them to be able to send me a question anytime, because that saves people from buying it and then they turn it into an INAD because they didn't read or they didn't know, or a return or whatever. So I would do that. Then we can let's go to business policies, because this one I get a lot of questions on. So we need to know how to set up our business policies. If you are selling similar off of other people's items, you are going to pull in all sorts of stuff from other people's business policies that you are not going to want, right? So if you go into your business policies and you have pages and pages of business policies, it's probably from selling similar off other people's items. So we can clean that up together. We can figure this out. But just know that if you go in there and you're like, oh my gosh, I've seen people with 100 business policies. So it's a cleanup process at that point. But in my opinion, we need to have a return policy, right? So I only have one return policy. Mine's free returns. I will always have free returns. That's just what I do. But if I wanted to create a new one, let's pretend I don't have that. We can go up to the right-hand side, this little blue box, hit create policy, and I'm going to hit return. Maybe. There we go. So you can name it, and I named mine free returns, right? So you can name it whatever you want. This is what you will see when you are looking at your return policies. Same way with the description, you can put whatever you want. And then here, it just reminds you that offering a minimum of 30-day free returns is how you get top rated. It says to get top rated seller benefits, but actually I think, yeah, you have to offer 30 days. It does not have to be free to be top rated. Top rated plus, I think it has to be free. I'd have to look at that. That's in another call, but right here, domestic returns, accept returns, allow returns for items purchased domestically. And then here would be international returns. So mine is turned on in I just won't save it. So here I would say, yes, I want to accept, that's for the United States purchases, right? I want to accept returns. So then I would go here and I would pick how many days do I want them to have? Do I want them to have 14, 30, or 60, right? I absolutely would not do 14, but 30 or 60 is more reasonable, I think. I do 60. And to tell you the truth, people forget to send the stuff back if you have 60, because then they got 2 months to send it back. They forget. I do not see an uptick in returns with people that, go to 60 days. It's fine. Money back, I think that's great. I would not put replacement on. I don't even know how that works with eBay, to tell you the truth. I would just put money back. So this is the big one. Return shipping paid by who? Is it free returns? Would be free for the buyer. You pay for the buyer. That means they have to pay to return. I don't really like to buy from people on eBay that don't have free returns. I think it makes them have trust in us. I think it supports what we're doing. I recommend 60-day free returns as my official recommendation, but you can do whatever you want to do for your business. I do not allow international returns, so I have this turned off. Of course, in an INAD situation, eBay is going to force the return anyway. So same way with domestic, guys. You can say, I don't accept returns all you want, but if a customer wants to return something, guess what? You're going to end up taking the return, and now you're going to have a defect on your account too. So I recommend 60-day free returns. That is just my preference. So I'm going to hit cancel because I already have mine all set up the way I like it. And as you can see, all my listings are under there. So make sure when you do new policies that all of your listings get into whatever you want, because sometimes for whatever reason, they don't all get updated. It should update all your listings that qualify when you change a policy. So you don't have to go in and bulk edit anything. You don't have to go in and change anything. It should do it, but we know that sometimes eBay doesn't. So sometimes we have to go in and refresh it again and have it pull in the rest of those listings. The returns one I've never had a problem with, and the payment one I haven't had a problem with. So let's go see what the payment policy looks like. So create policy payment. I think this one's pretty easy. All this, yeah, all it is. So right here, so if Wagner's listening, this is for you, Wagner. So if you go into your payment policy, right here, if you have this checked, this is where it's requiring payment for buy it now. So if you uncheck that, then you can, it will update all your listings to not require immediate payment. So here's your box right here. It's under your payment policy. Allow offline payment. I don't recommend this, so I'm not going to go into it. So I would just leave that alone, to tell you the truth. I'm not allowing offline payments. I don't know that eBay, I don't know. I don't know. That's my answer to that. So if you update your payment policy, that's where you either require immediate payment or don't. I personally do not require immediate payment because if they make me offers and stuff like that, I don't want them to have to pay every time. So it encourages multi-purchases. If you are doing all one-offs or things that people don't usually buy more than one of, it probably doesn't really make that much of a difference. Shipping policies. We all know what a headache we run into with shipping policies. So let's go create a shipping policy. So I would name this whatever will make sense to you when you are listing. So I have one for belt buckles. I have one for all my other jewelry. And I have one for like medium flat rate box, large flat rate box, things that I make bulk jewelry boxes in. So when I'm making a listing and I know I did a medium flat rate box of junk jewelry, all I have to do is hit medium flat rate box and it'll automatically apply this. All my other jewelry is defaulted to my $5.50 flat rate shipping. I recommend doing flat rate shipping for everybody. Even if you have clothing, you can make buckets. You can have, you know, your coats. You can have your heavyweight stuff, your lighter weight stuff. I would make shipping buckets for your flat rate shipping, mostly because of the fact that it's predictable being able to buy experience for your customer. So if I'm looking through listings and it tells me, it also is going to show me if it's calculated shipping and I'm buying jewelry, let's say, it's showing me the retail price, which is a lot higher than most of us pay on eBay because we get that discounted price from eBay. So if we go in and we see, wow, they're going to charge me $8 for that, you see that you're only paying $6 for that, right? So, but the customer's seeing I'm going to have to pay $8. That's what they're seeing on their end when they're shopping in store, shopping for an item. And lots of times the high shipping will absolutely make people go away. They won't buy from you. So I recommend doing flat rate shipping. This is where you could go in and do that. So make sure the policy name is something you'll recognize when you're making a listing. Shipping method. So this here is standard shipping. Most of us are going to have this on standard shipping, right? If you have something really large and you only want local pickup, this is where you choose no shipping, local pickup only. Freight is where you'll have to basically, you know, get like a U-line quote or something. So I think most of us are going to be under the standard shipping. So just pick standard shipping. This is where we go to cost type. So is it flat rate shipping or is it calculated? This is where I do recommend that we have flat rate shipping. However, you can do whatever is necessary for your business. And here's where you add primary service, which is where you could have them also have the option of priority if you want them to have priority. I do not have UPS option or FedEx option because I live in the middle of cornfields and it takes me half an hour to get to a FedEx or UPS station. So I don't want them to be able to pick it. If you want them to be able to pick UPS or FedEx or whatever they want, then you need to have this check marked so that it comes up in their options. I don't want them to have options. I want them to do it the way I want to do it. So mine is the USPS standard Ground Advantage. So I just pick USPS Ground Advantage. That's it. I don't give them any other options, but I really only mess with mostly small items or the priority boxes. So if I'm setting up my flat rate shipping boxes though, then I need to go down here and pick priority flat rate box. So for those business policies, I have that separate, but I don't want the flat rate box to show up on my $5.50 jewelry items. So this would be a whole separate policy. So I have a business policy and I'll show you how mine are set up. So you pick what you want it to show up for that particular policy. If you want them to have options, give them options. I don't want them to have options. I want to do it the way I want to do it. So if you want calculated shipping, easy peasy, you just put on calculated and it will show them calculated. So promotional shipping rule, this is where people miss this box, right? So I have a promotional shipping rule. Check mark this box. And that allows so I have free shipping over $50. I have that turned on in the discount section so people have it. If I don't have this box checked, then they can't get the promotional shipping discount, right? So I keep this check marked off when I have my flat rate boxes because I don't want people to get free shipping on $50 or more on my flat rate boxes because they're like $100. So I don't want to give $30, free shipping because it costs so much to ship those. So I keep that check marked off. And I actually had an instance where eBay did do that promotional shipping on that one. They went in and saw in my shipping rules, I had that box unchecked. And so they gave me a credit for my shipping back. So make sure that we have this on if you want to have any promotional shipping that you have created on that particular policy, and you have to do it on each and every policy you want it to be allowed on, or it won't show up for the customer. eBay international shipping. I used to ship direct and I had no problem shipping direct. It doesn't bother me to ship direct international, but right now we have some tariff issues and who knows what will happen in the future. Right now I'm just using eBay international shipping. So eBay international, they take care of it. They take care of your returns. It's not coming back if it's going eBay international. So it doesn't cost anything extra. However, it's expensive for the customer. So eBay international shipping is great for the seller. It's expensive for the buyer. Which is fine, but I don't mind shipping direct except right now because of the issues. So I have all my direct shut off right now, but if you want to do shipping services that you want to send direct, this is where you do that. And I actually had flat rate shipping on to like Canada, the UK. I had it on to several different places, flat rate shipping. Australia, I shipped direct to Australia for $28 flat rate shipping and I never lost money. So I was good on that. If you aren't really well versed though in eBay and the shipping policies, I would not ship direct. And I definitely wouldn't right now, probably anyway. This allows local pickup. If you don't want people having the option to show up at your house to pick up their item, you need this shut off. I don't want to see people. I don't want people driving out to the farm to pick up their stuff. So I have it shut off, right? Here's your handling time. If you want, got to have 2 days or less, or no, it's actually 1 business day or the same business day, I believe, for top rated. This isn't my policy, as you can see, but if you aren't going to be able to fulfill it, and this is your handling time, if you're not going to be able to fulfill it, don't push yourself to do same day shipping or the next day shipping if you're going to be late, because then you're going to rack up defects. So you pick the handling time that you can do all the time. So I have 1 day handling. That means if it sells before midnight tonight, then I have to ship it tomorrow. That's 1 day handling time. Same day, you have to do cutoffs. So I'll show you what that looks like. So if I hit same day business, then you have to edit in shipping preferences. Then you have to go ship. It shows your cutoff times. The cutoff times mean nothing and do not apply unless you're on same business day handling. So people get confused on that. It doesn't matter your dispatch times. It doesn't matter unless you're on same day. So I'm going to cancel this and then I'll show you how I have mine set up. So here you can see I have belt buckles. And I do have a couple copies floating around. That happens. They're the same. I got to keep combining them. I just haven't gotten that far yet. But belt buckles is $1 more. And that's why I have a separate one for it. I'll show you my one that I use almost for everything. So it says 550 current. That's my standard is small to medium items. It's a flat rate cost to everybody. right here, when I add that primary service, see how I can add for each additional item? So I can say $5.50. Each additional item they want to add is 50 cents. Could I do $1? I absolutely could. I've always done 50 cents. If I change it now, I'm afraid people are going to like revolt at me. So I have a lot of repeat buyers. They would be upset with me. So here's where you add that extra 50 cents or whatever you want to do. Here I could offer free shipping. I'm not offering free shipping, however. So scroll down. This is rate tables and flat shipping rule. It's really absolute. It says 99 cent extra. It's not, it's 50 cents. I just didn't change the name. Here, see how I have this check marked for promotional shipping? That means that I have that free shipping for orders over $50. This allows that to take place within this shipping policy. So make sure that box is checked if you have one of those going on. So you can see I don't have anything else. I have my handling time is 1 business day, because you know why? It stresses me out to do same day shipping. Like, stresses me out really bad. So I would not do that. And you're right, Wagner. I don't think people would complain either, except that in all my descriptions it says 50 cents extra for each additional item, and then I'd have to mess with it, and I don't want to. But I don't think they'd complain either. So if you have to combine some policies, you can do that. And I do keep media mail because I do sell a few books every now and then. So if you're ever going to sell a book or things that do not have advertising in them, because otherwise they do not qualify for media mail, and the post office does open a lot of media mail to check. You need to have a media mail policy, in my opinion. So I have my medium flat rate box. I'll show you what a medium flat rate box one looks like. Same everything, except here I have flat rate cost still. Buyer pays 20 bucks. Each additional is going to be 20 bucks, because I don't want somebody combining their offers and combining their items and get flat rate boxes for free if they order 5 or 6 or 7 of my junk boxes, right? That would get really expensive and eat up all my profit. So I don't want that. And I have the promotional shipping rule turned off on this because I don't want them to be able to apply that $50 order. And I also have handling time. It says 2 business days. I really only need it to be 1, so I can actually change that and hit save if I was going to change that, because I don't ever need 2 days to ship. I ship every single day. So that is how that works. Make sure you have a separate business, shipping policy here on this page for any type of shipping you do. So if you have clothes, you can have one for coats. You can have one for shorts. You can have, t-shirts, shorts, anything under £1. You just have to figure out what works best for you. But I do really recommend having the flat rate. All right. So eBay payments. That's immediate pay. I didn't really mean to have that on, actually, to tell you the truth. So let's go to payments. Create policy payment. This is also where you have immediate pay turned on. So here it is, that same that I showed you before, says require immediate payment when buyer uses buy it now. I accidentally have that turned on somewhere on 15 listings. I need to go clean that up. I know I'm naughty. I should have cleaned it up and made it perfect. But you know what? Reselling isn't perfect, and I am most certainly not perfect. These I could go in and just delete them out because they're ones I've changed. If you have these core business policies set up, you are ahead of the game because it will make things so much easier for you. So those are your main policies in your business policies. Let's go back now. If you have any questions about these policies or you need help, in our group, in the Reseller Revenue Patreon group, if you're in the group, these are questions people ask daily. And you can come, you can ask questions. We will help you set it up live in person and go through the process with you. And everybody has these kind of questions. So it's no big deal. So those are the business policies. And then we have, I think we have the selling policies already. Yeah, we already had all these. So all that's left for us to do is go to our seller dashboard. Like I said, I'm not shy about that. On Mondays in the group, we have Monday metrics, and we go through all of these categories, and we're going to go through this one together on the week that's about creating a really good listing. So I just wanted to bring it up because it was on our list, but we'll go through all of our metrics. I will share my screen. I do not care. Like I said, I'm very transparent about my earnings, about my eBay account, about everything. So that is what I have. I have the selling preferences. I have the top rated plus benefits, the shipping, and the seller hub. So we will turn this off because I think we've had enough policies for the moment. So I will turn off the recording And next week we're going to, I'm not sure, I don't remember what it says. But I'll send out some reminders to anybody that had any that signed up for the class. You will get a reminder next week also. We'll meet again. This will be on YouTube. And I will label the things that we went through together so that you'll be able to reference it whenever you want. If you're in the group, please go to Patreon. I'm going to make a library. So all you got to do is go into the library and you can click on it anytime you want. So join us at Reseller Revenue Patreon if you're interested in being in the group. We go over this stuff all the time. We will help you. We do hand holding. A lot of the peers will help you. We meet Monday through Thursday in the morning at 9 o'clock Central Time. And we have a topic usually, or we share, or we help, or ask questions, but we always fill up that hour. Then we have additional calls on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and then sometimes on Thursdays also we have additional calls. So we go over things like we have a shoe call, we have a jewelry call, which I run. We love doing the jewelry call. And the Mondays, Larry does this like reseller repair shop, and like today he's talking about patina. Sometimes he talked about like repairing golf clubs, or like he's really good. He always has great topics. So, and then if you also join the group on Reseller Revenue Patreon, you can then view all of our previous calls we've done together too. They're all public for you to share. So, all right, I appreciate it. Next Monday at 10:30 Central Time, we'll be meeting again, and that will also be on YouTube. So I'm going to stop the recording. If you have any questions, please ask. Hey, it's Carrie with Reseller Revenue. Just wanted to come on and let you know if you'd like to see more of this, if you'd like to see more of my daily calls Monday through Thursday, and you'd like to participate, please go to Reseller Revenue Patreon group, and that's how you join our Facebook group also, is through that link. And you can join our morning calls, which we meet every day, Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Time. And then we have other calls afterwards, like we have a shoe call, a clothing call. We have a bunch of different kinds of calls. Also, the jewelry call that I do with Finds of Yesterday is on Tuesday mornings following the morning call. And also, you can get information on how to get personalized one-on-one coaching for an additional fee from me. We'll review your store. We'll go through different ways you can improve your listings. So I'd love to have you. Please check out Resell Revenue on Patreon.